Hey, welcome horse racing enthusiasts. We are doing our series Road to the Kentucky Derby 2023. Today is already Wednesday and Saturday is the big day. So we have a lot of exciting things to talk to you about, John. And today we want to talk to you about Forte. John, Forte is in the morning lineup favorite for the Kentucky Derby. What is your opinion on if enthusiasts, our viewers, who, if they should include Forte on their ticket?
Thank you, Linda, and welcome, horse racing enthusiasts. That's a great question. Forte, like, what do you do with Forte in the Kentucky Derby this year, right? And I will save the answer for the end, but let's talk a little bit about Forte. Forte, in essence, Forte is by violence with the Danby and Queen Caroline, right? It's a blame mare. The horse has done nothing but win. I think it came in fourth in one race in Saratoga this year, which last year rather, and that was the second race. But otherwise, it's won every race, right? So it's 6 wins at 7 tries, and really solid horse. Okay, so Todd Pletcher trains the horse. Irad Ortiz is the jockey. In essence, let me just go through some of the wins that the horse has had. One of the most impressive wins, I thought, was the Breeders' Cup Futurity. The Breeders' Futurity, right? That was before the Breeders' Cup, where Forte came in first and beat Loggins. And if you remember that, I talked a little bit about that race when it happened. I thought Loggins was the better horse in that race, and I thought that there was a little bit of race riding / maybe bad sportsmanship on Irad's part. But Forte had the guts to stick that out and to win, and came from behind to win that race. And that's a common theme that we're gonna see with this horse, is that it has the will to win. And that's one of the things. You can have all the pedigree, you can have all of sort of the athleticism, but if you don't have that will to win, that you're not going to win, right? And particularly in races like the Kentucky Derby, where there's 20 horses, it's 150,000 people screaming. You need a horse that has that competitive advantage, that will to win, and he definitely has it. So, as I mentioned, 4-time Grade 1 winner, right? In the current reigning champion as a 2-year-old in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, in which it had its highest speed figure of 100, and beat Cave Rock's National Treasure, but others in that race. So I think that 100 speed figure is something. Since then, let's just say what happened. And November 4th was the Breeders' Cup, and then didn't run until March, right? March 4th, but came off the bench to win against Rocket Can, who had won the Holy Bull, right? Not in the Derby Trail any longer, but was once considered to be a pretty effective horse, and to win the Fountain of Youth, where it scored a 98. So it had 100 in the Juvenile, 98 in the Fountain of Youth, and then 95 in the Florida Derby. Now, I wanted to speak about that Florida Derby because that was quite a race. Didn't break all that well. Was running wide around both turns. I think 3 wide, then 5 wide, and the second turn. Was passed by Mage, right? This was Mage's 3rd time running, and on the turn. And usually when horses get passed like that, they don't come back, right? Because Mage had a turn of foot that was very impressive, went ahead, and what you saw right there, you saw that little wink in the eye of Forte, and Irad had him going, and was 5 wide. I mean, so he's running longer than everybody else, and just caught Mage at the end, and ended up winning by a length. A couple other things to note, I would say, is you got the best jock, you got one of the best trainers, you got the best horse, right? I mean, no one's taking it away from you. You got to beat the champ to be the champ. And my thought is that if you can get 3-1, 4-1, as one of my good friends Bo mentioned today, if you can get 3-1 or 4-1 on the current champ and someone who hasn't lost in like the last 5 races with the best jock, best trainer, why wouldn't you take that? So I kind of want to see something different happen in the race, but like if there happens to be a little wetness in the ground, Forte's already been experienced in the wet. He's already 1 for 1 in the wet ground. So I think if you're including a either a multi-race wager or like a multi-horse wager, you have to include Forte. And I feel like he's going to have a good day. I don't know. I can't say that he's going to win, but I see him being in the top 3. So that's my take on it. If you like these kind of things, go ahead and subscribe. Send them to your friends. Let's talk about it. If you have any questions, I'll answer any comments or any questions that anyone has. Thanks, horse racing enthusiasts. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks. Bye.